My name is Erik Contreras. I'm from California in the United States. My university is UC Davis, so University of California, Davis. I am a graduate student in the School of Design. My focus of research has mostly been in repurposing or creative reuse of obsolete technology. And through this craft, I've been coming across a lot of files from obsolete formats. So floppy disk, I feel old saying it, but also CDs and mini disk as well. And one thing I kind of noted, most of it was very mundane spreadsheets and Excel documents, but every once in a while there'd be very personal data that would be popping up. And I think especially now, as personal data is a hot topic with social media and the collection of it, there's that curiosity: should we archive this data of individuals, if there's any merit in doing that, or if it is just to gawk at it. So I have just started in this research process. I'm curious on everyone's opinion going forward. So this is kind of a very open-ended presentation. So
arrows. Space? No. Arrow up. No.
Thank you. So this current collection has 3 floppy disks. I call it a digitized analog memory. So very personal files, and trying to find that human warmth in these kind of cold digital files as well. And so I've been contemplating best ways of curating this data. And the way I went about it was to use a Windows 98 PC, second edition, to create these desktop vignettes. So to try to create a desktop that would be mimicking the original creator of these files. And I think it kind of goes into some of the theory in exhibition design, such as like what color walls to use for an art exhibit. So it's very curious. Also the question of anonymity, because these files are 25 years old, so it's very likely that these individuals are still present. So trying to find ways of presenting this work in a public space without being voyeuristic or to disclose too much personal data. So again, just trying to explore this topic as I go forward. So these are going to be the files I'll be looking at 3 floppy disks. They were found in the San Francisco Bay Area at secondhand shops.
Very quickly.
So there are 3 questions during this act of creation. So the first one has been, is all personal data relevant for archival, whether it's historic or for anthropological? So the motivation for me, I feel it brings history alive for the 90s or 2000s. And I think as time goes by, it might be more important going forward. And then how much subjective flexibility should be given to the curator or the artist when using this data, these files, when presenting it to a general public. And then finally, how should the hardware that's capable of reading these formats be maintained for future use? So right now, we're very lucky. These obsolete computers are easy to come by, but 100 years later, this is going to be a very interesting task to dive into. So I'm trying to take full advantage with the time that we're working in. So very quickly, this is the time. So 3 of these, okay. So the first one is a collection of tourist photos I acquired at Sydney for 1997. The next 2 I find is very impactful. One is an expression or a diary entry of a troubled youth or reformed troubled youth and his experience in a reform school. And again, is that question as the curator, how much to disclose? In addition to him establishing his life turning around, he also was trying to have an IOU message. So trying to create a narrative. Again, the question is, am I creating the narrative, or is it the files that are telling the story? So it's always very delicate balance. Again, and then a short bio by a 5th generation dentist who immigrated to the United States from China. So again, I think it's a story that's very interesting to kind of dive into. But again, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for the time, and ISEA for hosting. It's been fantastic. Email to reach me if there's any interest. I'm very interested to hear the opinion on this topic. And if anyone knows of a store in Barcelona that I can get fluffy discs, let me know. But thank you.